there's times where the day just gets away from you, right? And you feel like you've just lost control, and it's just like, and I'm like, okay. And I would say probably once, maybe every other week, is I'll have to literally in the middle of the day, I'll have to just like step back, I'll close my eyes, and for 5 minutes, I'll just have to breathe. And that's the only thing that can like actually get me to calm down, where it's like my heart is racing. It might be the 6 energy drinks that I drink in that day, but it is mostly the stress from work.
Irrelevant.
It has nothing to do with it. No correlation.
1,500 milligrams of caffeine, that has nothing to do with it.
It's only 4 times the limit that Ben put on me.
So Tyler, I got a text literally 60 seconds ago from one of our listeners.
Yeah.
And guess what it says? How about I just read it? Because you can guess a million things.
Okay. What are my odds here? How many words do I have to get right?
I'm gonna leave their name out, but this person said, "You may want to warn your listeners." So that's all I saw, by the way. At first, I was like, "Oh, what did we say?"
Wait, is this a text or a DM?
This is a text.
Okay.
It's
a relationship.
Yeah, it's a friend. It's a client of ours.
Okay.
And that's all I saw.
Yeah.
You may want to warn your listeners. So I thought, oh, geez, what did Tyler say?
Oh, man.
He's freaking potty mouth. Says, you may want to warn your listeners. If you try the cold shower, which I did, let your wife know what you're up to. She heard me gasping and groaning in the shower this morning and asked me what I was doing. So if you're going to try the cold shower, warn your spouse.
Heads up.
It sucks.
Heads up. You might want to play some music.
But I love that.
Yeah.
He said he tried it based on our episode.
Yeah.
He probably has better energy getting out of the
sure.
shower.
He probably got way more done today.
Have you been doing it? I know you said.
Yes, I did. So last night, I did it at the end of the night. And
nice.
We just put a pool in and just finished. And last night was the inaugural heated up for the first time. It takes a couple weeks.
You go heated pool? You freaking
no. Way too expensive. Hot tub. Hot tub.
Gotcha.
Heated up the hot tub. It was a hot tub night.
Gotcha.
And cold shower to shut down the night. Now, probably not the best time to do it, but I did.
Yep.
I did implement it, and then I did it this morning.
Nice. Yeah, every day, man. I do it every day, and it just feels so good. So, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're in the middle of a natural energy boosting series, and last week we talked about cold water immersion. Not necessarily jumping into a freezing lake or a cold tub per se, but even taking a cold shower and the benefits
both of those work
that could provide. So go back and listen to last week if you're lost. But now we are finally on part 5, which is our last part of this 5-part series. I know
others would call it conclusion.
The conclusion. Felt like we'd never get here. No, but week 1 was all about getting vitamin D. Week 2 was about getting out in nature. Week 3 was about hydration. Last week, like I said, cold water therapy. And today's topic, I want to lead in with a question, Tyler, to you.
Yes.
Which is, if you were to power rank oxygen as part of your daily need, as part of a daily need, where would oxygen power rank on your list of daily needs?
Probably somewhere before. Probably somewhere before like protein shakes, but somewhere after.
If you don't say number 1, you're a mouth breather, which we'll talk about here in a second. You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. Yeah, no.
Would you say it's pretty important? Would you say?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, is water or oxygen more important to survival?
Oxygen. You can go a few days without water. You can't go more than 3 minutes without oxygen.
You haven't seen me try.
Okay. So how do you receive this oxygen? How does your body intake this oxygen?
Osmosis.
Okay. I'm trying to play a game here. I'm trying to lead you down a path here, and you're not playing at all.
No, I know you're not. I'm gonna make you work for this one. Ben, I intake oxygen either through my nose or mouth.
You breathe in oxygen.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Simple answers. That's all I'm looking for here. So if that's the case,
yes.
if oxygen is vital, probably the most vital thing,
Yep.
and the way you get oxygen by is breathing,
Uh-huh.
then how much time would you say you spend per day thinking about your breathing?
Thinking about breathing.
Thinking about your breathing.
Very little.
Very little.
Oh.
0 to 5%.
No, I would say just because during workouts,
Okay.
I concentrate. That is something I'm pretty conscious about.
Well, you're more advanced than most, because I would bet the average person thinks about their breathing 0.0 times
0.0
per day.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about breathing is most of us do it inefficiently.
Yeah.
Most of us do it, I don't want to say incorrectly, but there's more beneficial ways that we breathe. The great thing about breathing is it's part of your autonomic nervous system, right? You don't think about it. It just happens. The problem is, though, if you're breathing inefficiently, you're not getting the full benefits, just like everything we've talked about. You're not getting the full benefits of what it can provide. So that's what I wanted to talk about today is proper breathing, more efficient breathing, and how it can lead to both not only energy, an uptake in energy, but it can also calm you down as well when needed. And it's something that we overlook, just like hydration, I feel like. Something we overlook, but it can be so important and a game changer on performance. Yeah. So when you think of calm, deep breaths, that's calling on your parasympathetic nervous system. You've got two parts of your nervous system, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic. Your parasympathetic is often called your rest and digest. This is when you're trying to relax, when you're calm. Whereas your sympathetic is your fight or flight. When you're getting tensed up, ready for a workout, ready to run from a bear back in the day, that's your sympathetic. So 2 common deficiencies that we often see in the breathing world. Number 1, mouth breathing versus nasal breathing.
Okay.
So somebody that breathes in short breaths through their mouth or somebody that breathes in nice, deep into their nose. So the consistent mouth breathing, believe it or not, is not as efficient as consistent nasal breathing. Here's why. Consistent mouth breathing can lead to inefficient oxygen exchange, which can result in poorly oxygenated and energized cells. It can decrease respiratory strength and function. It can decrease lung volume, and it can decrease exercise capacity and stamina. So have you ever heard that old saying, you're a mouth breather? Yeah. That's a negative connotation that you're an idiot, you're a moron.
That's a shot fired.
Why is that? Because your brain needs oxygen to function. What they're implying there is that you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain because you're a moron because you're a mouth breather. So mouth breathing or dominant mouth breathing is actually a more inefficient way to get in air, get in oxygen. It's not quite as beneficial to the body. Whereas nasal breathing, consistent nasal breathing, acts as the body's air filter, blocking out dust, particles, allergens, germs, etc., can lower your blood pressure, can support better oxygen deliverability, and is associated with lower stress levels and increased mood. Yeah. So for whatever reason, every time I go to the doctor, I get this thing in my head that says, all right, they're going to find something horribly wrong with you. Like you're dying, pretty much. Yeah. And so I get super nervous.
What is that? What's the term?
A hypochondriac?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
My big toe hurts. Oh, it's cancer. I got toe cancer. It's the worst case scenario. That's where my mind goes. Okay. So going to the doctor is a stressful thing for me. Despite how I live my life, try to be healthy. Part of the reason I try to be so healthy is that fear of
going to the doctor.
Okay.
And I didn't know that about you.
That's a fact. So when I go to the doctor, I have to be conscious of my breathing. And so I literally, before the doctor walks in, I'm sitting there, I'm doing nasal breathing. I'm trying to calm because what's the first thing they do at the doctor? They take your blood pressure. And when you're panicked, when you're uptight, when you're, nervous, your blood pressure elevates. And then when they tell you your blood pressure is elevated, you're nervous even more. You're like, oh, something's wrong with me. I'm gonna have a heart attack. So that's how my mind works. Dude, I can't relax. I'm just being honest.
You and my 5-year-old are exactly the same. You act so tough, and I'm so hard, and I work out so much, and I'm and then it's like, oh, I don't want to get a needle. I don't want to get a needle stuck in me.
That's the thing. It's not needles. It's the bad news that I anticipate for whatever reason. I don't know why. I've got nothing. It's irrational.
I could just see you curled up in a ball on the exam
sucking my thumb.
Just rocking yourself back and forth, trying to calm yourself down.
Have I ever been told I have a health issue? No, I haven't.
I mean,
suffer vitamin D deficiency, which I've cured.
You did have the vitamin D disease.
I'm basically Jesus. I've cured myself. But my point is, I'm conscious about this,
Yeah.
so that's how I calm myself
Yeah.
down is by big deep breaths, big nasal breathing.
And look, that's real. Like there's times in the day, and I'm sure we've all felt this, is like the day just takes hold, right? And you just lose control.
That big knob will tighten your. We got new microphone stands if you're watching.
You see that slow,
Yeah,
slow drop?
you gotta tighten that big knob.
Is the times there's times where the day just gets away from you, right? And you feel like you've just lost control, and it's just like, and I'm like, okay, and I would say probably once, maybe every other week, is I'll have to literally in the middle of the day, I'll have to just like step back, I'll close my eyes, and for 5 minutes, I'll just have to breathe. And that's the only thing that can like actually get me to calm down, where it's like my heart is racing. It might be the 6 energy drinks that I drink in that day, but it is mostly the stress from work.
Irrelevant.
It has nothing to do with it. No correlation.
1,500 milligrams of caffeine, that has nothing to do with it.
It's only 4 times the limit that Ben put on me. But legitimately, it's true. And I think of, and you're probably going to get into this, but I think of, there was a period when I was playing, flexibility was a big issue of mine. And so I started a regular yoga. Like I was doing it 2 to 3 times a week, just because it was so bad. Stiff white guy, that was me. And part of yoga, for all of you, most of you already know that breathing is a huge part of it. But I never realized how much the mobility connected to breathing, just because I was immature and I was like just go heavy, go hard guy all the time. And the impact that breathing brought to my mobility, but then even after, like my favorite part of the class was to literally lay on my back. When you lay on your back and you meditate for 5 minutes, and the energy that you walk out of that session, it was like the best night of sleep ever. And it was like 5 minutes of meditation.
Why is it? Because some listeners may not know, and I'm going to tell them, why is it that your breath is tied to your mobility?
I'm going to speak simply because I don't have all the smart guy words that you're about to use.
We just talked about it.
Yeah. So anytime you're restricting, right? Anytime you hold your breath, and a lot of times if it's hard, we strain, right? So even if we're stretching, like it's hamstrings or it's groin or it's quads or hip flexors or whatever, if it hurts, we hold, right? And that's when you're constricting. That's when you're reducing oxygen. You tense up and you're restricting blood flow in the muscles. But when you relax, I mean, if you think about it, if you were like to bend over and touch your toes and it hurts, but then you're to like consciously, okay, in through my nose, 4 count, out, right? You literally gain 3 to 6 inches of reach just by breathing correctly and not tensing up.
Yep.
And I mean, you walk.
Well, that's exactly what we just talked about. When you're tense, you're tight.
Yeah.
Your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, everything in your body is tensing up and ready to fight, ready to roll. Do you think you can be super mobile from that state of mind?
No. And think about what it's for, right? It's for a short burst of strength. It's not a sustainable. It doesn't have anything to do with endurance. That's why you look at marathon runners and you look at these endurance athletes. A huge portion of their training has to do with breathing. But we are designed as creatures, like you said, if you're running from an animal or you're fighting off, somebody, you're in some sort of fight, right? It's short bursts, and it's like, okay, yes, I'm collecting it, and I'm using extreme force for a very short period of time. Yep. Then that's it. Then you're toast.
Well, think about a muscle contraction. You're making the muscle shorter.
Yeah.
That is a stronger muscle. A shorter muscle is a stronger muscle.
Yeah.
But a shorter muscle is not going to stretch very well. It's not going to be very mobile, right? Yeah. A longer muscle, lengthening the muscle, needs to relax, which is where the breathing comes in. So if you're breathing correctly, deeply, through your nose, inhaling, exhaling through your nose, that's going to call on that parasympathetic nervous system. That's going to relax you. That's going to allow your muscles to lengthen. We actually used to do this cool magic trick. It's not really magic. It's what we're talking about. When I was training, we would tell people, we'd have them do different mobility drills, and we would have them do it, and then we'd put them through a breathing technique, 2-3 minutes, and then they'd do the same mobility drill, and all of a sudden they scored better, and they thought we were just magic. Yeah. But all we were doing there was calming them down, telling their body to relax a little bit and stop tensing up when they're trying to do that mobility drill. It's
Don't
a pretty
lie,
cool
you
trick.
cashed in on that.
Oh,
You're
for
like,
sure. That was a sales technique.
I bet you $100 that I could get you to stretch.
I'll bet you 12 training sessions that I can make your mobility
It only
better.
takes me 3 minutes to make you more mobile.
So if your trainer tries to get you to do this little trick and says, I'll bet you 12 training sessions I can make you more mobile in 2 minutes.
Don't take it.
It's a dirty trick because that's all we're doing. We're trying to get your body relaxed. So that's one, nasal breathing versus mouth breathing. The other is chest breathing versus abdominal breathing or belly breathing. So you have a muscle in your belly that sits under your rib cage called your diaphragm.
Yeah.
That muscle allows for the expansion and the contraction of your lungs. So the idea is that if you breathe deep into your, and what I always used to tell people is breathe in through your belly button as opposed through your chest, that's going to allow you to expand your lungs and to contract your lungs a lot more efficiently, getting a lot more oxygen. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Doctor sits here and has a little stethoscope and says, hey, take a deep breath for me. 9 out of 10 people, their chest is going to puff up. They're going to rise, right, through their chest, which is what we, normally do.
Yeah.
But what you really want to do is you really want to expand your abdomen, and your chest will rise a little bit. But what you're really trying to do is you're really trying to fill your belly on all sides, front and back.
Yeah, just easily think what is going to be more pliable and flexible and create more space, your belly or your rib cage.
That's right.
Your rib cage isn't going to move.
Right.
You may have a little bit of, but
yeah. So again, most of us, we thought, everybody drinks water. Well, same thing here. Everybody knows how to breathe properly, but most of us breathe through our mouths most of the time and breathe through our chest most of the time. And you're really leaving on the table some benefits by not engaging in correct breathing patterns. So if you want to calm yourself down, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different now there's a lot of different breathing techniques out there. We'll cover a couple here. One that I've done quite a bit of, and this is what I go to whenever I'm trying to calm myself down. The other one actually I never heard of, to be honest with you, but did want to cover that one because I thought it was fascinating. But the first one is box breathing. Have you ever heard that term, box breathing? All it's referring to is the amount of seconds that you inhale air, the amount that you hold. So the idea would be that you inhale through your nose and through your belly for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then you exhale slowly for 4 seconds. That would be 1 round. You would do 5 rounds of that per minute, and you repeat that 3 to 5 minutes, somewhere in there. That's called box breathing. Easy technique. You're sitting there at your desk. Sit up your chest nice and tall. Again, breathing in through your nose, trying to fill your belly button with air. Thinking in 4 seconds. Hold that for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds. Do that for 3 minutes and tell me you're not more calm after that moment.
I like it.
Now, once you're done, you might immediately go back to your stressful state. But anytime you're feeling stressed, because a lot of us go through our work day, we don't realize how just tense we are the whole time.
Yes.
How stressed we are the whole time. So a good starting point would be 2 to 3 times a day, really, of this 3 to 5 minute box breathing. It's a great technique.
Okay.
To calm yourself down. The other one, which I hadn't heard before, it's called alternating nostril breathing. Have you ever done this before?
No.
I haven't either. So it says studies show alternate nostril breathing helps balance the brain and nervous system. How? It shakes up our breathing cycle by commandeering our dominant nostril. Did you know you had a dominant nostril? Well, you do.
I do, yeah.
That's right. One nostril is typically dominant before it switches to the other. So at the course of any amount of time, one of your nostrils is actually dominating more than the other.
My left. What's yours?
I don't know. I guess it depends on which one's stopped up at the time.
I was going to say which one has more boogers.
So when you do this technique, you trick your brain into creating an even flow through both nostrils. The result, a balance that leaves you feeling calm, centered, and focused. So what you do, just like if you're watching on YouTube, Tyler's doing right now, you take your right hand, you put your right thumb over your right nostril. You breathe, just like we talked about, through your nose a couple of times. Actually, I'm sorry. You breathe in through your nose. So you inhale through your nose. I probably sound real nasally right now. Inhale through your nose. Then take your index finger and close your other nostril and release
through the same nostril?
And then now out through the right nostril.
Oh,
so
wait,
you breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. And then to reverse it. Breathe in through the right. Out through the left. And then you just repeat that as many times as it takes to calm yourself down.
Interesting.
That was an interesting.
I'm gonna try.
I didn't know that. I didn't know dominant nostril was a thing.
Yeah,
I knew dominant hand, dominant foot. I didn't know dominant nostril.
Eye.
Dominant eye.
Yeah. It may be interesting.
I guess anything you got two of.
There's
a tendency. Maybe you got dominant hearing in one ear or another.
That'd be fun to watch somebody in the office and like they'll tell them what's going on.
So yeah, there you go. So try that one out on for size. On the exact opposite, so that's to calm yourself down. And again, you could Google 100 other breathing techniques. There's tons of them. But the point is nice, controlled, deep, slow breaths to calm yourself down. The exact opposite, you can use your breath to produce energy.
Ooh.
And energize your body and get you ready to go. Think about a power lifter before he is about to, yes, right?
Yeah.
He's about to take this take this big PR, try to go attack this big PR.
Yeah.
They're always just hyping up, right? The breathing gets real short but real intense. They're raising their shoulders, people slapping them. That's what they're doing. They're trying to hype themselves up. They're trying to increase their breathing. Because what does increased breathing do? Increases your heart rate, increases your blood pressure. If you're trying to lift something heavy, you need that, right?
Yeah.
You need to jack yourself up.
Yeah.
So a couple different techniques. One is try double breathing. This one's kind of crazy. It's kind of wild. So this rapid breathing technique activates the breath in short bursts. It's these active movements that excite the sympathetic nervous system and make you more alert, just like we were talking about earlier. To practice double breathing, inhale through the nose with a short, sharp inhalation, followed directly by a long, strong inhale. This one takes a little coordination.
Hold on.
So you go quick in.
And then still through the nose again?
So quick in.
Oh.
Yeah. So quick. And then slow. And then let it out the same way.
Oh,
quick,
really?
Quick exhale and then slow.
Boogers are going to fly out of that one for sure.
So again, it takes a little coordination, a little practice. I was literally practicing when I heard, because I've never done this one before.
Yeah.
So I was trying this one.
Okay.
So yes, there you go. So if you want, this is probably better made for TV and not audio.
Hey, you should see my nostril flare game right now. It is on point.
So quick, short, deep breath in, and then followed by a long one, just like you do it. I hope people can hear this because it's hilarious and watch your face. And the other one, I actually did this one this morning before my workout. Yeah. It's called Bellows Breath.
How much you bench?
Like all the weights.
All of the weights.
Bastrika, or bellow breaths, is perfect first thing in the morning during your afternoon slump or to get you psyched for a workout.
Yeah.
I had to get psyched for those bicep curls. Settle into a comfortable seated position, then do the following. Breathe in through your nose. Engage your stomach, pulling it in on inhale and pushing it out on exhale. Again, this one takes a little, because normally when you breathe in, you want to fill so you're doing the opposite here. So now when you breathe in, draw your abdominal in. There you go. Now when you breathe out, push your stomach out. And do that forcefully, intensely.
Through the nose or mouth?
Through the nose.
Everything's through the nose.
Yep. Okay. Do that nice and intense. There you go.
Again, look like my 5-year-old.
Make sure you're doing this when nobody's looking. You look like you're about to get ready for sexy time.
These are going to be our highest viewed YouTube videos for sure.
Yeah, if you're not watching this right now, you're leaving a lot left to the imagination.
Either sexy time with a wife or I'm parked in a white van near a Chuck E. Cheese. One of the two. Sorry, that is not a funny joke.
Not a funny joke time. So anyway, I did that one this morning. Got me ready to roll for my workout. So again, we're going to cut that clip because people have to see that. Bonus points for the awkward face.
Man, I could bench press so much right now.
You're about to kill this podcast, dude. So anyway, breathing. It's the lost art. It's good. It's what we overlook. We do it every single day, but we overlook the importance of doing it properly. So again, nasal breathing, belly breathing. Nice, slow, big, deep breaths if you're trying to calm yourself down. Short, intense breaths if you're trying to jack yourself up. Use either way. Most of us are probably going to need to calm ourselves down more often than not, as opposed to jacking ourselves up. But it could work for you if you're trying to get some energy.
Just thought about this right now.
Okay.
Combining drinking water and breathing. How do you do it? What is the technique?
I don't know. But I do know this. I have combined vitamin D, nature, staying properly hydrated, cold showers, and breathing. All 5 of those techniques I implement daily.
Yeah.
And again, I still reach for caffeinated drinks just because I like them, but I definitely have gotten myself to a place where I certainly don't need them. Yesterday I didn't have caffeine. I didn't miss it at all.
Yeah.
I didn't need it because I'm doing these things that are going to be good for my health overall, the long term. It sounds like listeners, like our one that texted us, sounds like you guys are trying this out as well. Hopefully you found this series to be helpful.
Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong. We're not demonizing the energy drink community. Those are great things. There's a lot of cool things. But people can't make money off of these 5 tips we've shared these last 5 weeks. That's why these aren't pushed more. There is no, we didn't make a dime off of this series. So that's why it's not pushed more. You didn't
get paid? You didn't get paid? I definitely did.
Hopefully this series, you like this series. We'll move on to the next topic next week. But again, hopefully you like this series. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. Hopefully you're implementing this for your afternoon pick-me-ups to help you out and get you through the day.
One more time. We're going to let's do the double in. I like that one.
Go for it. But see, now you're raising your shoulders. I guess it's fine in this instance.
Well, bringing it in. That's the pump up one.
Right. That's true. That's true. So anyway, if you're still with us, hope you guys enjoyed it.
You haven't deleted this podcast from your iTunes app already.
Please share this podcast. Seriously, we love doing this, but we wouldn't do it without you guys. We need your help. So help us spread the word. Rate 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you listen on. Follow us on all our social medias. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you have a great rest of the day, and we will catch you tomorrow.